everyone, I am Mary Priscilla, working as a lecturer of Food Nutrition and Dietetics at Milagros College. I am here to deal with the topic cancer, its definition, classification, steps in the development of cancer and its risk factors. So what do you mean by cancer? Cancer is the uncontrolled growth of abnormal cells. So these abnormal cells referred to as malignant cells or tumor cells or cancerous cells. There are like different types of cancers, about 200 types of cancers. Causative agents, if you see, too much of exposure to chemical or toxic environment, or maybe because of the ionizing radiations, or maybe because of the pathogens or the bacteria or the infections taking place inside the body, or maybe because of the heredity or genetics. Signs and symptoms depends on the type and grade of cancer. They are not specific. So some of the signs and symptoms are like anxiety, tiredness, lumps in the organ, and fever. Then sometimes changes in the bowel or the gastrointestinal problems take place, or there can be sudden shock. All right. So next about the biopsy. That is, cancer can be determined by biopsy, taking the suspected cancerous tissue and then sent to the laboratory for the examination. So biopsy test is determined to find out which type of cancer and the extent of cancer spread. There are different types of cancers. It can be endothelial breast cancer, and then endometrial cancer. It can be lung cancer, leukemia, all the types usually which is seen in children. Then all the esophageal cancer, then throat cancer, intestinal cancer, gastrointestinal cancer. These are the types of cancer. Next, if you see about the steps in the development of cancer, there are kind of 3 steps involved in the development of cancer. So first one is initiation, second one is promotion, the third one is progression. In initiation process, what happens is a patient gets exposure to carcinogens. So carcinogen is what? It is nothing but an agent or a process which triggers the cells to grow in an abnormal way, which can result in malignant neoplasms in a tissue. So carcinogens are the primary cause for the cancer. There are 3 main groups of carcinogens. They can be viruses or ionizing radiations, or maybe because of any kind of food attack, or maybe because of the heredity again. Once the body is exposed to the carcinogens, these carcinogens, they enter into the cells, and finally they will alter the cellular DNA. Next step is promotion. Here what happens is cancer development takes place finally, and multiplication of cancerous cells takes place. Next is progression. Here what happens is formation of tumor cells. Malignancy increases, due to which the tissues and organs are destroyed, they are affected and completely invaded. Then there is a factor called as metastasis. Metastasis is a process where the cancerous cells break away, and they will travel into the bloodstream, and they will multiply and form a new tumorous cells. Let's see some of the risk factors associated with cancer. The first one is heredity. So of course, cancer requires not only one mutations, it requires n number of mutations. Mutations is nothing but multiplication of the abnormal cells here. So here examples for heredity cancer will be breast, ovarian, colon cancer, large intestine cancers. They are common. Next is about the environmental factors which are associated with the cancer are ionizing radiations. Few rays, like when a patient gets exposed to rays like X-rays, gamma rays and UV rays, they can be prone to causing cancer. Chemical substances, again the carcinogens, which are non-nutritive substances like asbestos and benzene, can increase the risk of cancer. Also, greatest number of deaths because of cigarette smoking and also tobacco. Tobacco cancers are related to organs like lung, mouth, larynx, esophagus and also gallbladder. Third one is dietary factors. Here if you see, foods play a major role in causing cancer. So any foods consumed in overdose can result in cancer. Microorganisms also play an important role here. They will produce carcinogens when the foods are stored for a longer period of time. First one is meat. Meat is usually associated with digestive tract cancers. It can be gallbladder cancers or gastrointestinal cancers. Intake of red meat and white meat may increase the risk of intestinal cancer. Next is cooking meat, poultry and fish at higher temperatures. When you cook it at higher temperatures can also be a risk factor in cancer. Next is about the energy balance. Always a positive energy balance has to be maintained when you consume a particular amount of food. So the risk factors associated with negative energy balance are endometrium cancer, gallbladder and cancers related to kidney. Next is physical inactivity, when you don't have enough exercise. High energy intake and large body mass, colon cancer is seen highly in men and women. If you categorize cancer according to the male and female, in male if you see prostate cancer is highly seen, colorectal cancer is seen and also sometimes lung cancer is seen because of overconsumption of tobacco or smoking. Cancer related to women are breast cancer, it can be lung cancer, colorectal and particularly ovarian cancer is highly seen. In children if you see leukemia is seen, then brain tumors and also lymphoma is seen. Sugars. Simple sugars can lead to colorectal cancers. Excessive starch, example, it can be a ganji or the rice products or potatoes. It can result in excessive starch. It can lead to gastric cancer. Next, coming to fat. High intake of saturated fat increases the risk of prostate cancer. So this type of cancer is highly seen in male. Next, about protein. Increased meat intake leads to increased protein intake. It can lead to colon cancer and also prostate cancer. Tomatoes are protective in case of prostate cancer. So anything like with citrus, fruits or vegetables can help in maintaining the diet. Capsaicin process, it plays a chemopreventive role in cancer. Next is vitamins and minerals. Low blood carotenoid levels. Yes, carotenoid is a pigment which produced in intense colored fruits and vegetables. So it can lead to, when you consume a lot of carotenoid rich foods, it can lead to lung cancer. Low dietary vitamin C, oropharyngeal cancer and esophageal cancer are also a risk factor under this. Low dietary vitamin E. Vitamin E in required amount is very much good because it has got an antioxidant activity. But when you have low dietary vitamin E, it can lead to lung cancer, cervix cancer, colorectal cancer again. Next, about the selenium and zinc deficiency. So these are the macro and micro minerals. When it is not in a proper amount consumed, it can lead to cancer. Alcohol, it's a primary cause for cancer again. So it has an increased effect on the tissues. Finally, when it is exposed to the organ, whenever alcohol is consumed, it affects the organ and then finally it leads to lung cancer. Nitrates, nitrosamines. So these are the chemical compounds present in foods. They are considered as carcinogens and this increases the nasopharyngeal, stomach and colorectal cancers. Aflatoxins can also lead to liver cancer. Then the beta carotene again, as it is already told. Estrogens. Estrogens are given usually in the women who are having post-menopause. So this can prevent the osteoporosis. So osteoporosis is what? Or softening of the bones because of the vitamin D deficiency. Viruses, hepatitis B virus. So it is the kind of virus. There are different types of virus. It can be A, B, C, D and E. So these are the viruses which directly affects the organ liver. Papilloma virus and the Epstein-Barr virus, they are also carcinogens. Stress. Stress plays an important role. Again, people who are not able to combat their anxiety or their stress, so can be a victim of this cancer. Age. Next is colorectal cancer increases with age. Here if you see, incidence is 6 times higher than the person who is aged 65 years. So this type of cancer usually takes place above 70 years. Physical activity, so regular vigorous physical activity as in So a few simple activities like your brisk walking just for half an hour every day will keep you healthy. Next is about the immune factors. So there should be a well-balanced antigen and antibody reaction taking place inside the body. So here the body's immune system should be able to identify the cancerous cells and thereby control the cancerous cells from multiplying. Thank you.